At a packed concert, my girlfriend hopped onto her male best friend's shoulders, giggling uncontrollably. She yelled down at me, "You're taller, way hotter than my actual boyfriend." The crowd around us lost their minds and cheered like an idiot. I just stood there for a second. Then I turned around and left. The next morning, she realized she hadn't just lost a ride home. She'd lost everything. Sometimes the music stops even when 10,000 people are still screaming. That happened to me last Friday night. Everything zoomed in, the noise vanished, and I saw the relationship for exactly what it was, finished. My name's Leo. I'm 33. I own a gym. My days revolve around discipline, heavy iron, and zero tolerance for nonsense. My girlfriend of 2 years, Maya, is the opposite. She thrives on chaos because she thinks constant drama makes her the main character. I used to call it her personality. Lately, I realized it was just selfishness dressed up as sparkle. The problem had a name, Eric, her best friend from childhood, the one who was supposedly like a brother. I'm not blind. I saw the lingering touches, the private jokes, the way he looked at her like she was already his. 6 months ago, I drew the line. Massive fight. I told her straight, either create real distance from him or we're over. She cried buckets, swore he was harmless, promised she'd handle it because I was her future. For a few months, it actually looked fixed. The 2 a.m. texts dried up. He stopped showing up everywhere. I thought we'd turn the corner. Then came the concert. Her favorite band. I'd spent a stupid amount of money on tickets because I wanted one perfect night that was just ours. A proper date. We barely got past security, and there he was. Eric, leaning against a pillar with that little smirk that says, "I knew you couldn't keep me away." My stomach dropped. Maya immediately went into damage control mode. "Babe, relax, it's a total coincidence. He got the ticket from someone else." I looked at him. He looked at me. The smirk widened. "Coincidence, my ass. I should have left right then. Instead, because I'm stubborn and I'd paid for the damn tickets, I told myself I'd ignore them and enjoy the show. Terrible plan. They spent the whole night glued together, whispering, laughing, finishing each other's sentences. I wasn't her date. I was the guy holding her jacket. When the headliner started, the crowd pushed forward and Maya complained she couldn't see. "Leo, put me on your shoulders." I reminded her about my lower back injury. "We'll just shift to the side." She pouted for 3 seconds, then spun to Eric with a dazzling smile. "You'll do it, right? You're stronger anyway." Next thing I know, she's climbing up him like it's the most natural thing in the world. Drunk people around us started whooping. She threw her arms out, eating up the attention, then looked straight down at me and shouted over the music, "See? You're taller. Way better than my boyfriend." The crowd roared with laughter. Eric stared at me like he'd just won the lottery, and that's when the sound cut out. 10,000 voices disappeared. All I could hear was my pulse. I looked up at this girl I'd built my life around for 2 years, sitting on another man's shoulders, publicly shaming me for applause, and I felt nothing. No rage. Just crystal clear certainty. I smiled, gave her a little 2-finger salute, turned around, and walked out. The crowd parted like they could feel the temperature drop around me. I didn't look back once. Update 1. The cab ride home was the most peaceful 45 minutes I'd had in years. My mind was finally quiet. No more mental gymnastics trying to convince myself I was overreacting. I knew exactly what needed to happen. I got home, my apartment, my name on the lease, my furniture, and got to work. I dragged out every suitcase she owned and packed her entire life into them. Clothes, makeup, shoes, jewelry, even the stupid decorative pillows she insisted on. By midnight, the place looked like she'd never existed. 6 neat suitcases lined up by the door. I poured a drink, put on a game, and waited. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard giggling and fumbling at the lock. The key scraped, then stopped against the deadbolt. "Leo? Babe, the door's stuck." I watched on the Ring camera as Eric tried to play hero and rammed the door with his shoulder. He bounced off like a cartoon character. Priceless. My phone rang. I picked up. "Leo, what the hell? Open the door." "Nothing's wrong with the door, Maya. It's locked." "Unlock it." "No. You don't live here anymore. I believe you found someone way better. Your stuff is packed. Enjoy the rest of your night." I could hear Eric shouting in the background. She started panicking. "You're breaking up with me over a joke? You broke up with us the moment you lied and invited him." The rest was just the public announcement. "We're done." I hung up, blocked both numbers. The banging went on for another 10 minutes, then silence. I watched them drag the suitcases away on camera. Next morning, I moved the bags into the hallway and sent her an anonymous text. Your things are outside. Then I went to open the gym. By Monday, the smear campaign was in full swing. Suddenly, I was the controlling, jealous psycho who abandoned her at a concert and threw her out in a violent rage. Mutual friends blew up my phone. I ignored the idiots, told the real ones the truth, and moved on. Update 2. A week later, they cornered me in my building's parking garage while I was loading plates into my truck. Maya got out crying. Eric got out ready to throw hands. We need to talk, she sniffled. We really don't. Eric stepped up. She's talking to you. Bro, show some respect. I laughed. Move. He shoved me hard in the chest. Apologize for humiliating her. Second shove. My switch flipped. One clean right hand. Lights out. He dropped like someone pulled the plug. Maya screamed bloody murder and threatened to call the police. Go ahead, I said, flexing my hand. I'll show them the 4K footage of your boyfriend assaulting me first. She went pale, looked at Eric groaning on the ground, then at me standing calm. For the first time ever, she looked genuinely scared. They peeled out 5 minutes later. The knockout killed their narrative dead. You can't call a guy unhinged when everyone saw or heard about his girlfriend roasting him on another dude's shoulders the week before. Then the begging phase started. Burner numbers, paragraphs of I was drunk. It was a mistake. Eric means nothing. Blocked everyone. She showed up at my gym in the middle of a client session looking like she hadn't slept in days. Leo, I messed up so bad. I told Eric I can't see him anymore. I love you. We can fix this. Great. But she grabbed my arm. I'll do anything. Just, first you have to apologize to Eric. You really hurt him, and he was only defending me. I stared at her for 10 full seconds, then started laughing so hard I had to hold the wall. What's funny? She snapped. You, I wheezed. You still think you get to make demands. Leave. Don't come back. I locked the gym door in her face. Final update. 6 months later, radio silence. A single mention of a restraining order was all it took. Word is she and Eric tried dating officially, but once there was no forbidden thrill left, they hated each other within weeks. Blew up spectacularly in a bar fight everyone saw. Eric's tough guy reputation is toast, plus he needed dental work he couldn't afford. Maya had to move back with her parents, got a soul-crushing 9-to-5, and apparently never stops complaining. I ran into her a few weeks ago. I was on a date, great girl, laughing over dinner. Maya was our waitress. The second she recognized me, her face went white. She told the manager she felt sick and vanished out the back. My date raised an eyebrow. Old friend. I smiled. Long story, but it's over. The best revenge wasn't the punch, or packing her bags, or any single moment. It was simply walking away and never looking back. I left the stage. They kept performing for an empty room, and people like them can't survive without an audience. That night, they didn't just lose a boyfriend. They lost the spotlight. And for them, that's worse than death.